It's time for Making Connections, where we meet people right here in our community who make up the fabric of Korean society and hear their stories. From time to time, we also get to sit down with guests who are visiting the country to share about their life work and how they're connected to Korea. But this week, we are joined by someone very special, someone who probably doesn't need a special introduction. Danielindenman, of course, is a German broadcaster and musician. He is known as a broadcaster here in Korea as well. He's here to talk about his second single album, which came out not too long ago, and we are happy to have him join us here this morning. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning.
So everyone knows you, but this is my first time meeting you. I'm so excited
Really?
to
Thank you.
have you as part of our show, and I'm actually also guest hosting. So, yeah,
So we're both new.
we
to a
are
certain
both kind of
yeah.
new. Yeah, for
Amazing.
sure. So, there's so many questions I want to ask you, but let's, I guess, jump right to this new special project
Sure.
that you have going. You are known in Korea mostly as a TV personality. I would say an intellectual with a heart, based on a
Wow.
lot of the
Oh,
responses I've seen to your content online. You, of course, are known for your excellent Korean language skills,
thank you.
and of course, your deep history, a deep interest and knowledge of Korean history as well. Perhaps less known, although so now, is your musical side. And you have put out a few albums and collaborated with musicians like cellist Hyung Lim, who we had on the show not too long ago as well when Na Sun-yeon was here. So, yeah, clue us in. How did your love for music come about, first of all?
Well, I think it's a long story, but to make it
Mm.
short, I started piano when I was 10. So before my grandma, she taught me to play the block flute, so the recorder.
Oh.
But my uncles, they were playing piano, and I envied them a lot because they could talk or laugh while they were playing, and I couldn't do this when when you have to blow into the block flute into the recorder.
Mm-hmm.
So I told my mom, "Hey, mom, my uncles look so great when they play and talk at the same time. I want to play the piano." So I got lessons when I was 10.
10 years old?
Yeah, 10 years old. So pretty much late actually, in comparison to other, like really professional pianists. But I only got lessons for about 3 years. And afterwards, I started to play the pipe organ. So my
What?
grandfather was actually a professional organist, and the
Ah.
husband of my piano teacher, he asks me, Daniel, are you not interested in maybe, trying to play the pipe organ as well? So I switched actually. So I
Is that a
started
pretty common thing in Germany?
not common, but I think Germany is pretty much famous for their organs. So we
Sure.
have big organs in every single church, be it Catholic or Protestant, doesn't matter actually.
Gotcha.
So I started to play the pipe organ, and I loved it. It's amazing. You feel like a
Mm.
pilot because you have to, to switch like all the switches around you, and you have to use your feet as well as your
Right.
hands. But anyways, and then afterwards, like when I came to Korea, like starting from 3 years ago, I tried to compose my own music. Since I cannot play the organ right now here in Korea, I
Mm-hmm.
play piano, and I love it. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So, does that mean you revisited piano just 3 years ago
Um,
after your
of
childhood?
course,
Or
I kept playing the whole time, but like trying to make it a little bit more professional and
gotcha.
developing again. I think this started about like 3.5 years ago.
Mm.
And yeah, I enjoyed a lot. I mean, composing my own music, I think it's like having a new child born, because
Mm-hmm.
your own project and your own thing is being created. And that's like one of the biggest joys. Yeah.
Right, right. And you have released a number of singles under Sony Music, I
Yes,
believe.
that's right. Yeah.
This latest project is called Talk Over Lime and Mint.
Hmm.
And I actually did take a sneak peek of the music before
Okay.
our interview, and it's just so charming and so
Thank you. Thank you.
ticklish.
Okay. Okay.
It was my impression
Okay.
of it. And in fact, we have our question of the day. This on this rainy day, which is I think what makes your summer happy, and it really immediately reminded me of this tune that we're going to get to
Perfect.
here in a little bit. Before we do, though, I see we have some excitement on our message boards already. Uh, 5530 writing in and saying, "Wow, smiley face. A little while ago, I listened to Daniel's voice through another radio."
Or maybe just like 45 minutes ago, because I
I
was on another station like 45 minutes ago. I
He's a
don't know.
busy man. I'm really happy to hear your voice again. Lucky day. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
And Minjung Kang has written in to say, "Good to see you, Daniel." All right. Yeah, I guess
Thank you very
Minjung
much.
Kang is tuning in through our YouTube live feed right now. Could you talk to us a little bit about this new project then?
Sure. So the album is called Keys to Summer. This year, we cannot go abroad to spend our summer, and the weather is also not, pretty good right now. So I wanted to create something where people, can enjoy their summer just while listening to the music. And before that, I usually the pieces I composed were more like new classical pieces. And this time I wanted to go a little bit more into jazz. So in March and April, I studied a little bit jazz piano by myself, and I tried to use these components to create this music. So the album is called Keys to Summer, and it contains two pieces. So one is Talk Over Lime and Mint, and the other is Dance Over Sugar and Soda. So the reason for this is I really love mojito, the cocktail mojito, and I love drinking mojito in summer. So for me, it's like one of the most necessary parts of summer is drinking mojito.
Would you say that's your answer to the question of the day? What are the things that make your summer happy? One of the
Yes,
things, anyway.
it's certainly mojito. So mojito contains like lime, mint, sugar, and soda, and rum, of course. So I excluded the alcohol, and just you have like lime, mint, sugar, and soda. And I thought by myself, enjoying summer by, for example, talking to good people, to nice people while drinking mojito, and also dancing to good music while drinking mojito. So these were the two components. So I tried to create the titles according to this imagination that I had.
So the album is called Keys to Summer, and he has two pieces, Dance Over Sugar and Soda, and the other Talk Over Lime and Mint. I love the titles as well. It's so active. I can imagine it in my head. So why don't we stop dilly-dallying then and have a quick listen to Talk Over Lime and Mint. Wow. That was beautiful.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Woo! It's perfect, I feel, to listen to in a rainy day like this, for one. I don't know about you guys listeners, but when I was listening to it, I was thinking of summer evening at an outdoor terrace,
Oh,
friends chattering, sitting around in circles, and the dancing on the keys.
okay.
It just
Wow.
made me picture, almost flamenco dancers
Sure.
in the sense of their movement.
Oh, that's very detailed imagination. Actually, when I first thought about the title, one of the other options was Sunset Dance.
Sunset
Yeah,
dance.
so
Ooh.
good to hear that you imagine like these kind of pictures. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Sunset dance would have worked well as well, but since mojito was your inspiration, talk over lime and mint. No, I love it. I think that is so poetic and fresh as well. But you tell us then, tell us about your process when it comes to writing music and creating something from nothing, essentially.
Sure.
Where do you begin and where does it take you?
I think it differs from person to person. I mean, for me also, it depends on what kind of piece I'm creating. Usually, when I first started like creating music, I just sat down in front of the piano and started like, what can we play today? And I started to playing around a little bit. And when you got like a certain phrase that you like, you would maybe like try to develop into it like a systematic piece. But I noticed very quickly that it's not a very productive process. It's like just you sit down, have a like white paper in front of you, and start writing a poem. I mean, it's not very easy. So I try to get like some more inspiration, but mainly by listening a lot to other music. So I think like for an author who writes like a novel or another book, I mean, they have to read a lot in order to get new ideas, right?
Sure.
You need input for output. So I noticed like when I listen a lot to other music, like new ideas would also pop up in my mind. And also, of course, like certain imaginations that I have. Like, for example, just a while ago, I started a new project with a friend of mine. So she does media art. And we made a project together, like regarding nature and trees. So we had like the topic tree, and what we do was she would like to use the media art to like enlighten the tree, like an awakening tree, and I would like create the music to it. So if you have like this specific imagination, I notice by myself that it's way easier to create the music if you have like already a certain picture or certain images. Yeah, it's way easier. But it always depends. I mean, for me, like if you have like if you're like sad or something, and suddenly you have a good piece coming out of your hands. This is also the case sometimes, but not that often. So I need some pictures, I guess. Yeah.
Interesting. And in this case, it was Mojito.
Yes.
And on that note, let's get to some of these messages that are pouring in. BDSB Kang writing in, Daniel! Noting super excitement.
Okay.
Minjung Kang saying, the music is so good.
Oh, thank you.
1631 writing in, the opening of this song is a great sound for a rainy day. Can't agree more. Wasn't sure it was jazzy until the instruments came in, but very nice.
The intro is very long. It's over 1 minute. So.
Oh, wow. 7746 writing in, I think your traits match well with jazz music.
Wow, thank you.
9348 writing, why do you like mojito? And do you also like soju? 7405 writing, 다니엘 영어 하시니까 정말 신기하네요. 한국어로도 인사 좀 부탁드려도 될까요? So can we combine the maybe the latter two?
Sure.
And answer, do you also like mojito with your Korean introduction or hello?
네. 갑자기 한국말 하니까 또 어색하네요. 모히토는 옛날부터 좀 많이 좋아했었고요. 좀 상큼하고 여름에 잘 어울리는 그런 술인 것 같아요. 너무 세지도 않고. 그러니까 칵테일 마시면서 춤추고 또 좋은 사람들하고 얘기하니까 정말 여름다운 그런 느낌 나는 것 같고요. 소주는 마시긴 마셔요. 근데 한 반병 정도까지만 정도 마시고 그 후에는 이제 마시면 조금 써서 잘 못 마시는 편인 것 같긴 한데 또 소맥으로 또 타서 마시면 더 맛있죠.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to try to translate all of that. But I think he said, the last part I will say, he said, if you mix mojito with soju and make kind of a somek concoction.
If you mix like soju together with beer,
then
somek, right?
okay.
Then it's
no
of course
mojito in
great.
there. My goodness, Daniel, our time is running out very, very quickly, and I'm a little bit frazzled now. But certainly you are already well known in the Korean public and also abroad as well. So I guess if I can just ask you finally then, you've been a part of many TV shows, and a lot of people have come to know you through that. You've also taking on more roles as an MC in the program 대화의 Here, for example. So 2 questions. What does it take to be a good MC? As a newbie MC myself. And what are some of your future goals and projects that are upcoming?
I don't know if I'm a good MC. I try to be. I think the most important part is maybe to listen a lot. I think in Korean you always we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, which means you have to listen twice and to talk once, right? So I like this a lot. I think it's important to listen a lot and to show like really sincere interest in your partner. But of course that's not very easy. And I'm sure that I'm not a good MC, so maybe I'm the wrong person to answer that. But I try to at least.
He's humble too, folks.
To stick to it. It's not very easy, of course. I think you have to study a lot about the person you're talking to and listen a lot. And about my future goals, I try to increase a little bit more my music activities because I love it a lot and try to study more about music. So this is my goal for this year, to develop myself more as a musician. But of course also to develop myself more as a broadcaster as well. Because doing TV, it's very rewarding in very many aspects because you get the reactions at once. You talk to many people and you always feel like you're on the stage of the world. So this is what I like about broadcasting a lot. So I think I'm just, trying to continue my work as I'm doing right now. So no, big particular special future goals, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's always fascinating hearing your point of view
Mhm.
on life in general,
Thank you.
living here in Korea as a longtime expat as well. So I hope you continue sharing that. I'm sorry we didn't
I
get
will
to
try
too
to.
much of that today, but it was a real treat to be able to kind of see a different side of you as a musician through your piano music.